The year was 2021. Me and my friends were gonna have a sleepover since it's been a long time since we had one. We all brought our VR headsets and we decided to play Gorilla Tag. It was a normal day for us, not like anything changed. We got into our save code and we decided to play mini games together since there was four of us. Around 11:10 p.m., our headsets died and none of us were tired yet. We decided to get on Gorilla Tag again, this time around 2:30 or 3 a.m. It was perfect time because there was a storm outside, which would make it a very scary atmosphere. When we got on, everything was normal for about 30 minutes until we heard someone join. This someone was scary. Its name was Here, and when we found it, eventually something weird happened. When we found it, it started screaming like in agony, like it was getting torn limb from limb. And then its name changed to I'm on my way. We all got off Gorilla Tag and creeped out. I was wondering what this meant. I'm on my way, I was thinking. I wonder what that could have meant. The next day was Sunday, so we all just relaxed. They all had to go home, and we were getting ready to go to school the next day. But I just couldn't stop thinking about what happened the other night. The day was now Monday, and it was a pretty normal school day. My professor was teaching about mathematics or whatever. I didn't really care to pay attention, as my mind was still on Saturday night. I texted my friends in the middle of class, asking them if they thought anything from Saturday was weird. They said, no, it was just a normal ghost sighting. I said, then why did its name change? They gave me a multitude of reasons, and they all sounded pretty convincing, but there was just one thing I couldn't get off my mind. Why would its name change to I'm on my way? Eventually, it was the end of the school day, and I was just getting ready to go to bed and relax. Didn't really care about homework since it was almost summer, and I've been getting pretty good grades up to that point. We all decided to get on Gorilla Tag, and I went on. I felt uneasy getting on again after what happened, and it was normal. The next day, I woke up and I was running late for school. I rushed to eat my cereal and got my backpack. I ran out the door, almost missing the bus. It was halfway through the day where I started feeling weird, as if I was getting watched. I never felt this before, and every time I have, it was just paranoia. But it didn't feel like that. It just felt like I was really getting watched. I told my professor I needed to use the bathroom. I texted my friends telling me to meet me in the front of the school. Everyone asked to go to the bathroom. It is important to note that we were in freshman year of high school. This was not normal for us to be ditching school like this. So we decided just to leave. They all decided that fine, but if nothing happens, then they're gonna prove to me that I'm just being paranoid. I told them that I agree, and we went, walking home in the middle of the day. I didn't know how I'd explain it to my parents. I just hoped that my professor didn't text or tell my parents that I ditched school. We all went to my house, and my friends pretty much had nothing better to do, so we all just talked. It's until they realized that they bring their VR with their backpack just in case a sleepover or, just in case. We decided to get on Gorilla Tag, but I argued that it's probably not for the best. They all complained, saying I have to stop being paranoid and it was just a one time thing. That was when I realized something. Something at school. We weren't able to go out for recess or lunch. It was weird. It was weird to me, at least. We were always able to go out for lunch, sometimes not recess as it was just free period, but we were able to go out for lunch to basketball or just to court or soccer. But this time we weren't, as if something was out there. I pointed this out to my friends, and they said maybe it was just the heat. It was close to summer. And that could be it. But it wasn't the school's like heat temperature. It was still pretty cool for it before they brought us inside for the day. And that's when I pointed out that the person's name in Gorilla Tag changed to I'm on my way. They started feeling pretty paranoid too. And the next day, it was Wednesday. I begged my parents I didn't want to go to school. And they bought it. It's a good thing that after years of faking sicknesses, I became really good at it. My friends did the exact same thing, and I texted them. Come over to my house. My parents are gone. They all rode their bikes, and I was just playing video games in my bed, as if I was actually sick. When they all came, in their pajamas, I told them, we have to get to the bottom of this. They stayed there, and my parents didn't come home until very late, so we were lucky. Then, I saw something. In my backyard, there's a forest, and a field, and a yard. We had a really big house back then. And then, I saw it. With dark red eyes, and a horrifying smile. Looking back at me, I told my friends, what is that? And they responded with, dude, I don't know. They were creeped out of whatever the hell that thing was. And whatever it was, it clearly wasn't playful. I told my friends that we needed to get the fuck out of there. And they pointed out that if we left, that thing could have followed us. I told my friends they had a good point. And we decided just to keep watching it. Eventually my parents came and left, as if it was waiting to do something to us. I was telling my parents about this, and they started saying that I'm probably just imagining things, and I'm being paranoid. I told my parents that this is not a normal part of me being paranoid again. This is real. The next day I was home alone. My best friend, Jude, came home and he texted me saying that he's on my way to my house right now. I got to stay an extra day because my parents said I was able to stay, but the next day I have to return to school. So I was lucky. I stayed looking out into the yard, wanting to see it again. My best friend Jude came back and he said, "Is it still there?" I told him no. And at that point, I was thinking, what could it be? And then it started to get late. Jude wanted to stay the night. His parents were pretty laid back, so they let him stay the night. I was a little bit weirded out by that, whatever that thing was. But I also thought it was a figment of my imagination. Until I saw it again. This time it wasn't in the forest. It was in the fields. It was in the tall grass. I saw something move and I was wondering what the hell that thing was. And I saw it. It was a monster. It was horrifying. That thing, it's coming closer, and I pointed this out. We needed to get the fuck out of there. Jude agreed, and I told my parents that we need to get out of here. I took a picture of it, and my parents saw. They said, you know, this is not just a figment of your imagination. This is real. We'll report it to the police and we'll leave tomorrow. Not wanting to execute things further, I told my friends that I'm moving. And they all reacted pretty stupid. Some friends argued, some friends knew that something was going on, but Jude understood everything. He knew that my family was getting put in danger, and it was the right thing for us to move. We hugged for one final time, not knowing where I was going to be moving, until I got a text, and it was a text from my mom. She texted me, "Do you know why your father isn't responding?" My mom has been calling my father for almost 30 minutes straight. I didn't even know. I called my dad and I didn't get any response. About 15 minutes later, I got a spine-chilling text. It was a text, and it said, "We know where you are, Harry. Give yourself up." And it showed that same creature from the last 2 nights that I've been seeing. This time it wasn't ordinary. This time it was in front of my dad, with my dad mangled up on the floor. I showed my mom this, and we freaked out. We reported this to the police, and the police moved us out of that house and evacuated us out of the country immediately. I don't know what that thing was to this day, and I stay intact with all my friends, telling them this story. I don't know what that thing could have been. I drew a description of it as I've seen it around 3 times. So here's the description that I drew. I hope that if any of you ever see this thing on VR, stay away.